Methyl acetate. This is used in synthetic banana flavor. Okay, so this one, you can see that there is a ester here. There's a carbon double bonded to an oxygen and single bonded to an oxygen. So we know this is an ester. Same as number 8. We had esters here as well. So we know we end esters with the suffix ate or -ate. So we also know that we have one, two, three, 4 carbons here and 1, 2 carbons here. So this one is a little bit tricky. So first of all, we have 1, 2, 3. This is the pentyl. Since the methyl group is here, it becomes isopentyl. Acetate, now over here, we have 1, 2 carbons. So here, since we have 2 carbons, this is named acetate. Isopentyl acetate. Okay, now let's try some other compounds and see if you can name them. So we're going to work on 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So pause the video here and try these. So as you can see, some of these are pretty tricky, and some of them are not so easy to learn the rules as it is sometimes. So just to memorize how to draw them. And these are pretty common. You may see these on tests. So the first one, you were asked to draw succinic anhydride. So first of all, your first clue is the word anhydride. That tells you that you will have an oxygen and it's single bonded to a carbon, 2 different carbons, and each of those is double bonded to an oxygen. And so, as you can see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons. That's where we get succinic from. And so let's take a look at where do we get the anhydride part from. So if you'll remember, when naming anhydrides, you're going to see that there's going to be 2 carbonyl groups. So that is your hint that this is an anhydride. So you can see it here. This is a little easier. Here's 1 carbonyl group, here's another carbonyl group. And they're both single bonded to the same oxygen. Same thing here. So anhydrides have this unique feature. So how do we name this acetic anhydride? You can see here 1, 2 carbons here, 1, 2 carbons here. So the two carbons will get the name acetic. Now we're going to look at a couple acyl chlorides. So you were asked to draw propanoyl chloride. So first of all, let's look at the carbons. 1, 2, 3 carbons. Propan. Acyl chlorides are named with oil suffix, propanoyl. And we know it's an acyl chloride because there's an oxygen double bonded to a carbon, and that carbon is also single bonded to a chlorine atom. Okay, now number 13. So again, you can see this is an acyl chloride, oxygen double bonded to a carbon. That carbon is also single bonded to a chlorine. Count the carbons, 1, 2, which is, you could either say acetyl or ethanoyl chloride. Okay, now let's look at some amides. So when you see acetamide or ethanamide, first of all, you know it's going to have this NH2 in it. And you know it's going to have two carbons because acet and ethane are two carbon names. And you know it's going to be a carboxylic acid derivative, so you're going to have carbon double bonded to an oxygen, and the other bond is going to be a single bond to an amide. And finally, last one, you were asked to name this amide. This is a bit tricky. So you can see here, you've got a nitrogen, and it's got a single bond to a methyl, and it also has another methyl single bonded to it. So now you know N, N to begin with. And we're going to name both methyls dimethyl. N dimethyl. Count the carbons. The same number of carbons is up here. 1, 2, acet. You see again, acet, 2 carbons. And dimethyl acetamide. If you had difficulty with this video, I would recommend that you try it again and do the practice exercises again until you feel confident. After you feel confident with videos 1 and 2, you can look for my next video on carboxylic acids and their derivatives to come soon.